How do you explain the worldwide popularity of Miss Congeniality, the first movie?
Mm-hmm. Because every one of us is a misfit and an underdog. I don't care how much money you have or how successful you think you are. Everyone operates from, I think, that core feeling of wanting to be appreciated for who they are. And that feeling of, you know, everyone out there is influencing our decisions and saying, in order for you to be liked or successful, you have to conform and go this direction. And this woman doesn't. And then when she does it in this film and she feels so low about herself, you see her go off the deep end, you go, I don't think I like that about her, you know? And then she comes back to who she was again at the end, and you go, you know what? We need to support the unusual and the unique and the mavericks in the world, which is everyone. And that's what she is. She's just a unique. Well, that's we were never expected to make a sequel because we didn't think, no one had any idea what would happen with the first one. And when Mark Lawrence and I, the writer, started joking around about what Gracie would have done, and we were already working on other projects, something hit, which was, the thing that makes Gracie so unique is that all she is isn't, she's an FBI agent. That's all she knows, that's what she loves, that's who she is. And if she had really done what she did at the Miss United States pageant, she never would have been allowed to do it. People know what she looks like, she becomes a celebrity, and nowadays anyone can become a celebrity for 15 minutes, but their lives are never the same. And she's someone who didn't want that, and that happened to her. So we said, what would have happened to Gracie? If we really took away, if we cut her off at the knee, what would have happened to Gracie? And so that was nice. It allowed to develop in a proper way, not because a studio had to make a film or that they demanded it. We put a film on paper, and I got excited about playing Gracie again this way, you know. And with the cast of characters that we have, you know, I just love the idea. Gracie is everything I wished I was. I mean, I snort like Gracie and I fall like Gracie, but you know, Gracie is a rare breed. So she's one of those people that you can see it in children and in adults where you know that their parents raised them exactly like how they were supposed to be. They didn't say, don't do this, don't act like this. That child came out and the parents said, you are special and whatever you want to be in life, I support. Gracie was raised in that kind of atmosphere. She was raised to be who she was, which was a unique, and I think we could learn from that as parents and adults. You see kids that are unusual, you go, embrace that. Don't try and change it, you know. Well, it's the aftermath. It's the aftermath. You know, the phrase, no good deed goes unpunished. No one wants anyone to succeed or be happy or be fortunate. You know, we all try and support so we can then cut down. And that's what happens 3 weeks after the great thing that she did. She doesn't think anything of it. She goes back to work undercover and realizes that now everyone knows who she is, and she's now famous. And she almost gets someone killed. And then she gets dumped on top of it, and everything she had or was excited about or knew is taken away from her. No one wants her to be old Gracie. No one finds her, you know, doesn't find she doesn't do a good job at her job anymore. She doesn't feel, you know, doesn't feel loved. She feels alone. And what happens to a person when fame and celebrity creeps in at that very low point in your life? People lose their mind. People go, and well, everyone who feels success on some level loses their mind at some point and finds themselves drawn into it and thinks they deserve it. And that's kind of what happens to her. It sort of is, you know, when we find ourselves really moved or in strong dislike of someone, we need to stop and go, what is it about that someone that is reminding us of ourselves? And she's given this partner who can't stand her, she can't stand, and they're a good mirror for each other. I wanted a partnership like this. I wanted a teaming. They don't write films like this anymore, and I think it was about time they started again. And I just liked that they hated each other so much that they really were forced to learn from each other. And you know, we judge people so quickly in real life, and the person that you judge and write off could be the person who would be your best ally, and that's sort of what happens here. Oh, the adventurous Las Vegas. Cheryl, who is Miss United States and who became good friends with Gracie in the first one, who Gracie saved her life in the Miss USA pageant, gets kidnapped along with Stan Fields by William Shatner. And Gracie can no longer do her job the way that she knows, which is just go get them. Any way that you can, go get them. She's now the FBI face, and she can't go undercover to find these friends of hers because everyone knows who she is. And Regina King's part, Sam, is designed to be her bodyguard and to keep her out of trouble and prevent her from doing so. So it's how does Gracie get back to who she was as a person and also get Sam to agree to come on this, you know, very undercover operation and disobey the rules of the FBI to make sure she can go find her friend. And that's what the ride. It takes us to Las Vegas. Everyone who goes to Vegas becomes showgirls. That's what people don't know about Vegas, is that when you go there, if you're there long enough, you become a showgirl. Yeah, that was funny when I thought of it, and it wasn't so funny when we had to shoot it. Once the outfits were made and we had to put them on with the headdresses, the reason that showgirls in Las Vegas walk the way they do, it's very stiff and the upper body never moves, is because those things weigh 30 to 60 pounds. And mine wasn't that heavy, but it was heavy enough. And Dietrich Bader and I had to wear those outfits. And like I said, it was funny when we wrote it, but not funny when we had to wear it. But as long as it's funny in the film, then we did what we had to do.
I mean,
And she will say that I hurt her more than she hurt me, which is a total falsehood. I'm just made of steel, and she's very delicate. And she complains a lot. She's an actress, you know. She's a big star. Regina's a big star. No, the great thing about Regina is she's a great athlete and very aware of her body. And our stunt coordinator designed the fighting styles very differently. But it's like a ballet. You really have to choreograph every move to every line. And it was fun. It's fun working with a partner like that you feel very safe with, both in comedy and in the fighting scenes. And I love fighting scenes. I love them. It's because we're not supposed to fight as women, but I think we should fight more. Because that's why we're so repressed, is that we need to beat people up. You guys get into a bar fight and then you shake hands and everything's okay. We're not allowed to get into bar fights. I think there's something wrong with that. Well, the first film, there's love and self-love. In the second film, there's love and self-love, but it comes from being severely dumped and finding what it is about yourself that you can love, and love of friendship. And the first one, you know, wasn't about a love story. It was about, you know, a bigger sort of love, you know, and then the second one continues that theme, and you know, I think we need to be careful in films when you say the only way that you are a complete person is if you get the guy or the girl. Makes people feel like, if I don't get the guy or the girl, I'm not worthy. Of course you're worthy, you know, the right partner hasn't come along yet, and so this is about how to sort of rebuild your self-love and love of friends and love of, you know, love of who you are as an individual rather than who people want you to be. Oddly, not at all. It's Vegas. So if a showgirl's running down the street, it's no big deal. And that was what was really surprising about Vegas, is that they completely opened their doors to us, shutting down the streets. The Venetian gave us carte blanche to their hotel, as did Treasure Island, and it's unheard of what they did. And the nice thing is that people who come to Vegas don't come to watch a film being shot. They come to win or lose their money. And so they sort of walked around us to get to the slot machines, and that made it very easy to shoot. But yeah, running down the streets of Las Vegas looking like Big Bird was oddly comfortable. I felt oddly comfortable doing it. You kind of do, but you don't. You write your own ticket, and then you cut your ticket in half, knowing it will benefit the film. You know, as an actor, you're like, don't cut my scene, or don't cut my lines, or, you know, make me look good. But when you're in this position, you know what's better for the film as a whole. You don't become as narcissistic anymore. And you don't mind losing this scene if it goes to someone else who'll make the film better. Or if budgetary reasons limit what you're doing, you go, oh, I see. And you know what to fight for. And it helps you as an actor, I think. But you can. I can throw a hissy fit and get what I want from myself. And that's kind of nice. You know, it lends itself to schizophrenia a little more. But, you know, I like that ticket. Now we'll do it again.